Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into this. It was late afternoon in London inside a private boardroom overlooking Canary Wharf. Around the table sat senior executives from three of the world's largest banks, along with representatives from Ripple. I was one of the directors overseeing the cross-border settlement strategy. The discussion was clinical, not speculative. Spreadsheets, cost models, and projected efficiencies were all laid out in front of us. The data was irrefutable. One XRP equals 1 million drops. An average transaction consumes about 10 drops, or 0.00001 XRP. As long as those 10 drops remain valued below $1, the cost efficiency is unmatched. Every executive in that room understood what it meant. Profit margins could be widened, client fees reduced, and settlement times reduced from days to seconds. The only challenge left on the table was compliance, KYC, AML, and identity verification frameworks. Once those are fully synchronized with the XRP ledger, it will deliver what every global banker has pursued for decades: instant settlement, institutional transparency, and scalable profitability across borders. That afternoon in London, it was clear to everyone present: the future of global payments had already been engineered. The Clarity Act will split the crypto ecosystem into two: retail, transparent, public, and traceable; central banks and institutions, private, compliant, verified through ZK proofs. Also, the next monetary system needs to be transparent and private. Ripple's ZK proof upgrade makes this possible. The timeline: Ripple settles the lawsuit, the Clarity Act passes, institutions adopt ZK proofs, DNA protocol issues the credentials. Result: a global financial system that's compliant by design and invisible by architecture. The rails are already live. We're just waiting for that announcement, my friends. Ripple's James Wallace on Ripple's CBDC solutions as governments around the world come to explore use cases of CBDCs and stablecoins. Ripple's CBDC platform is your one-stop shop for the creation of digital currency. XRP, RLUSD.
One word: innovation. My name is James Wallace and I head up CBDC at Ripple. You might already know that over 90% of central banks around the world are now exploring CBDCs. There are many drivers to CBDC, including the decline of cash, improving payments efficiency, lowering costs, and the desire to innovate the ways in which money is used. Ripple's CBDC platform is your one-stop shop for the creation of digital currency, designed for minting, managing, transacting, and redeeming CBDCs and stablecoins. Here's how it works. First, standard APIs enable seamless integration of the CBDC platform into a central bank's existing systems. This allows the bank to leverage their current infrastructure. Central banks can then mint their CBDC on a private version of the XRP ledger that they control. Digital currencies can then be distributed directly to authorized accounts, either through commercial banks or directly to consumer wallets. Transactions run on a private ledger and are settled in seconds, and this is all done in a regulated and secure environment. The Ripple CBDC platform also permits the secure destruction of currency, giving the bank full control over monetary supply. The results: lower costs, faster transactions, greater financial inclusion for all, and all done with a minimal carbon footprint. So explore this with us today. We'll work together to build a custom pilot and future-proof your financial infrastructure.
That's the rails that Ripple's built over the last decade. The time is now, and the governments and the institutions are here. They're not going to stop this now. We actually have mass adoption taking place. While everyone says they want real-world utility, but they keep ignoring the one chain already doing it. Ripple XRP is literally powering nonprofits that have touched 81 million plus lives, served 500 million plus meals, and delivered aid in over 35 plus countries, all through RLUSD, already at a $900 million market cap. This isn't a testnet. It's not a theory. It's happening live. And when capital flows to chains that deliver real impact, not just speculation, XRP will reprice fast. I've learned one thing watching these markets: when utility is loud, the price is just lagging belief. Comment down below if you're bullish on the outcomes and not just opinions. Now let's move on to some Ondo finance. When I look at Ondo, I see the future of our industry. Chainlink Sergey Nazarov building the infrastructure to tokenize trillions. And don't forget, Chainlink is only an oracle. It only transfers data. It does not provide liquidity.
In my view, Ondo and teams like Ondo are really the future of our industry, where all the work that everyone has done on building blockchains, all the work that we've done on the CRE and Chainlink and oracles can be taken by them and composed into these high quality financial products. And then what is one of the main advantages of Ondo, and there's all these other groups, trying to do something similar, or more of them will be. I think it'll come down to the same thing that made financial institutions very successful. It'll be the standards that they set. right? And so when you look at anything that Ondo does, they do it at an extremely high standard, like at the Goldman Sachs or McKinsey or higher standard.
There's no way Ondo will ever fail. It's backed by BlackRock. Nathan Allman founded the company. They're all connected. Gary Gensler, Nathan Allman, Larry Fink, they're all connected. They all went to the same schools and worked at the same places. And do you still believe XRP is just for retail traders? Ripple is quietly powering a global banking revolution, connecting giants like Santander, MUFG, SBI, PNC, and Standard Chartered across the US, EU, and Asia and beyond. RippleNet, ODL, and tokenization aren't theories. They're real tools already integrated into the plumbing of cross-border payments. Picture this. You're watching the next big announcement, but behind the scenes, trillions in settlement rails are being reprogrammed in real time using XRP Ledger. It hit me hard. While most are distracted by meme coins and hype cycles, Ripple is solving multi-trillion-dollar problems quietly, efficiently, and globally. This changes everything from swift domination to real-time settlement. Ripple's tech is becoming the backbone for modern finance. Comment down below and tell me if you're still sleeping on XRP or if you're finally waking up. Now to Zebek. If ZBCN gets new listings in November, history says buckle up. When new exchanges open the floodgates, supply shock means visibility. Let's look at what happened to others. Solana 2021, a 480% increase after Binance and FTX listings. Gala 2021, 870% after Coinbase and Binance listings. ARB 2023, 320% after major centralized exchanges rollouts. Ordi 2024, 540% after Binance and OKX. Now apply that to ZBCN at 0.0039. 320% would place it just over 1.2 pennies. 480% would be 2.2 pennies. 540% would be 2.5 pennies. And 870% would be 3.7 cents. And that's without factoring in BTC momentum toward 150 to 180K, 8 billion plus ZBCN already staked, you got a tight supply, and MasterCard and Zero Hash integrations are going live. Not factored in also is Super App compliances and NBA ads. If multiple listings drop in early November, ZBCN's next leg could mirror those same historical patterns or outpace them. We already know Robinhood, Coinbase, and Binance plan on listing, and my guess, it'll be soon, if not by Q1 2026. This isn't hype, it's what the data shows when real infrastructure meets fresh liquidity. Now we got some all-in crypto with Gregory Bell of Hedera Foundation on what Hedera Hashgraph is doing right now in the realm of tokenization. Let's hear what they have to say.
The Reserve Bank of Australia, it could be what Archax are doing. I mean, there's just so much. Maybe you could bring up highlight a few things that Hedera is currently doing today in the realms of tokenization.
Yeah, so I think there's two sort of areas. One is on the payment side, and one is which is largely stable coins. Those are units of account. Hedera being selected by the state of Wyoming for its FRNT stablecoin is a huge deal. This is a state issued stablecoin, the first in the United States. There's more stablecoin initiatives globally occurring than I think are even in the news. Everybody knows this is coming, but it's very, very real. And then you have the financial instruments, and to me, the most exciting are those that actually are also enabling stablecoins. So cash flows or other distributions, they're not isolated. A lot of the tokenization of securities that has occurred today has been more isolated, in that it's a representation of ownership of a digital ID or twin of sort of a receipt of ownership. It's not the plumbing or mechanics of the cash flows and all the ancillary data that is associated with that security. This is one of the differentiating things about Hedera, actually, is that Hedera has a service that enables the attestation of data and the trust of data to be associated with that digital identity. So you can think of it as sort of there's a nucleus, which is that digital identity or twin, or maybe it's the title to your house or land registry in some jurisdiction. And then there are a whole bunch of attestations or notaries that occur to say, well, yes, this is Rupert's property. It's been verified by an insurance company. It's been verified by the state. It's how you take a traditional asset and actually bring it on chain. So title becoming a collateral form, enabling mortgage markets in countries where there isn't a robust capital markets for a property, that unlocks and enriches a population in a way that no other financial innovation can really accomplish.
The people that are going to benefit the most from this type of technology is going to be the unbanked, the third world countries. They're going to get access to something they've never had before. Most people here in the United States or in that have any kind of Western civilizations, they take for granted having the banking industry. They take for granted being able to take out a loan. They take for granted being able to get credit cards. But then again, our system is all built off debt, and debt is slavery, in my opinion. And last up, do not forget, the two largest institution asset managers on the planet are positioning themselves for regulated XRP products. While the public still sleeps, the quiet accumulation phase is ending. The institutional era of XRP is about to begin. Breaking. Bitwise and VanEck have submitted their updated filings for their XRP S1 applications. And with that new generic listing rule, they could go live 20 days after submitting their S1s. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Made CI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.